There's so much unpicking to do over the next story that I think I'm barely going to be able to sketch the surface here. And I think I need to urge you to look at songs by a fellow called Macklemore, things like White Privilege. I think Little Wayne. I think really I need you. I need you to have a look at the whole concept of drill, because until this is explored, the next story makes no sense. And I hope to do a podcast on the nature of drill and the whole drill phenomenon at some point in the next few weeks, next few months. There's a panic over drill music and over the possibility that the lyrics that people are using in this music are in some way evidence of a lifestyle. Now, in some cases, it may be. In most cases, I don't think it is, because drill has this tradition of exaggeration, this tradition of metaphor, this tradition of extreme language, as indeed have many artists. And we don't, for example, accuse Shakespeare of murder when he writes Richard III. But the drill lyrics have seen people imprisoned and held in both America and in the UK. And in fact, if anything, the UK's position is more extreme than that in America. The UK legal system, the legal response to drill is more extreme than in America, where in the UK, listening to drill, reciting drill, is often seen as an intention about adopting the values promulgated by the lyrics in drill. I think this is dangerous. Now, here's the caveat. There is a problem with gang culture, and drill has been embraced by gang culture. So it's certainly possible to see a connection between drill and gang culture, but it's also possible to defy that connection. It's also possible to identify drill music itself as some specific phenomenon. And it's a phenomenon which has grown out of oppression, like so much of the rap tradition. But of course, rap is not culturally stuck in any one tradition. Rap has a very wide history. So the Daily Mail ran a piece about Albanian rappers mocking the police, mocking the royal family, mocking Suella Braverman, and suggesting that this was out of control. Jonas Biba did a piece last year, I think, or the year before, where he explained or put forward adverts explaining how to get into the UK, how to bypass the UK rules. Now, of course, that is wrong. But OG Merckx put out a video, which I commented on the other day, where he kicks in a television set, which is playing a video of Suella Braverman talking about invasion. Now, are these two things similar? I think they're wildly different. I think it's one thing to recommend fake passports and mocking the UK legal system, and it's quite another to mock a British politician who herself is using inflammatory racist language. And steering our way between the two is actually quite a tough call. The article by the Daily Mail is very aggressive and makes no distinction at all between, for example, Albanians, which is a feared gang, and McGee and Lucci, Heck, Keikoki, Yagodi, Stay Busy, even people who are at the moment or have been in prison, like Marcel Mecco. These people are very different from the gangs, though they may well be using similar language. I think Marco from Tropea, who's a person who was kicking the television set with the image of Suella Braverman on, is simply drawing on a very traditional streak of British satire, which goes all the way back to Hogarth and the great cartoons of the 18th and 19th century. This is part of our tradition. This is not a defiance of our tradition. This is an embracing of our tradition, of our cultures. I think gang culture is not. I think, as I say, this is something that we need to be very, very careful about. And so while on the one hand we need to decry and condemn drug use, any form of modern slavery, carrying weapons, gang warfare, at the same time, the language which is used, the extreme language which is used in drill, is not or should not be criminal and should not be seen as a sign of criminal behaviour. And more than that, I think, given the fact that racist rhetoric is being used against the Albanian community, we should not be that surprised that the Albanian community is picking up the torch for some sort of response. The Daily Mail starts its article by saying that these rappers have plenty of money and have a wag-style lifestyle. They're very showy. And then says, and how is this possible when none of them have hit the top 10 in the hit parade, and there's no Albanians who are the musical leaders? Well, this is just a rhetorical flourish by the Daily Mail. All we have to do is think of Dua Lipa, and there's plenty of Albanian rappers who are doing very well, both in this country and in Albania and elsewhere. Albanian rap is really quite healthy, and I think we need to we need to step back and reflect on the purpose of the Daily Mail and those people who are quoting the Daily Mail, particularly if they're simply trying to defend Suella Braverman, whose behaviour, whose language, whose rhetoric is indefensible. So, Marco from Tropea, I'd be very interested to hear from you. I'd like to discuss this with you directly. I'd like to know, the difference. I think we'd all like to know the difference between gang culture and the language which is used in drill, how there is a distinction between the two. And I think we need to learn more. I think particularly the readers of the Daily Mail and the writers of the Daily Mail need to learn more.